indeed more of a case of, well, Team Fate, they have to win this first map. They have to win Inferno. If they don't, then the odds of them being able to make it and push it to a decider, to Overpass, are rather slim. And even then, even if they're going to push it to the decider, Overpass is still a 100% win rate map for Team Secret. So, you know, kind of tough, kind of difficult odds. But we will see. We are getting into the knife now, and whomever starts off with the knife at least starts off with at least that advantage, the side advantage, the momentum advantage, you could say. You know, once you get into it and you win the knife, you can start on the site you'd like. You do have a bit of a feeling of, okay, we're getting into things a bit better. It looks to be quite dominant Faye here with a lot of those, well, knife kills, and in the end, Fade also getting the upper hand. They win the knife round. And with that, who knows? Maybe this is a sign of things to come. Maybe this is a good start to the map from Team Fate.
Well, I think Fate is now throwing in like cool words like, oh yeah, that knife round was lit, and let's see what we can do in the first pistol. Of course, starting on that CT side. Why wouldn't you? If you have the possibility to choose, especially on your own map pick.
Exactly.
And I think they'll be quite happy going into towards this round. As there's a little bit of a negative spray going on. Luckily, it will be stopped as the match will now begin. Curious to see if Fate will be able to get that first round in. Secret so far has been really strong on their pistols. Just going to check back on what happened before between these two teams, of course. And I do believe that, oh well, actually Fate had in the first two maps all 4 pistols, and in the last map does too. It actually went in favor of Secret, so it might actually mean that possibly Fate will have a good chance, but those USBs need to come in true.
It's always the pistol round that really decides how the coming 3-4 rounds are going to go, to be fair. If you get that one with you, then you can really write it down as, okay, very likely that you are going to get the round after that, and usually the third one as well, because it has gotten to be a bit of a habit nowadays that...
Patrick is back.
Oh, look at that. Patrick is back. How nice.
I was just looking at like, hey, is Bubble still there? No, Patrick has returned.
I assume Patrick is Bubble, actually.
No. Bubble is a different player. I looked at his HLTV profile. He must be a different guy, because otherwise Patrick is trying to impersonate someone, and it's a little bit awkward.
That would not be nice. That wouldn't be okay.
Meanwhile, we do see that A Execute most likely to come in from the side of Team Secret. Utility flying, as it always does in the start of this round. We do see Blocker getting the first frag on towards an upside, but it will be going to be Anarchist now getting the frag on towards Arch. Nikki tried to contest, and that means now they have to turtle on towards B, but you'd expect maybe one player to be here, not two from the side of Fate, and maybe Patrick and his buddy right here could get the frags. It's going to be Patrick with 1 kill in return. Bomb will be dropped, but Anarchist once more with a kill on towards the pistol. The pressure, however, from Banana will deny the bomb plant for the time being. Blocker moving up, yet another kill, a triple so far. Renefaction from CT now having to face against 2 players. Gets the first, gets another chance, he gets a clutch as well. A 1v2 from Renefaction in the first round goes towards the side of Secret. And that should have been a round for Fate if you looked at how they played it, how they positioned, but they just weren't hitting the shots. As Renefaction, the Norwegian legend, played it to perfection.
A lovely little rhyme thrown in there. Team Secret so are off to a good start. Even if they might not have won the knife round, they still make that T side, well, pretty damn well. And I have to say, of course, you can kind of give Radefaction the majority of the credit for that last one. If he hadn't gotten that lovely double kill there, then this wouldn't have been Team Secret's round. Oh, Bison, okay. That is a bit of a nasty amount of damage to start with, though, for Radefaction. Let's hope he gets into a decent opportunity to actually use the Bison. And let's also hope that his spray is actually going to be on target, and mainly, and most importantly, on head target. Because the Bison, of course, 64 bullets of pleasure. 64 Ps, you could also say, because of the incredibly low damage. So with his low HP, he's going to have to hit head.
Oh, I do see Utility flying towards that B side. Execute coming in. Patrick standing by with the Deagle behind the smoke. Hoping to get a Q to get their bullets in. He will actually not get a kill. His Blocker once more moving in. He will lose Harn, however, as Nikki will be refragged quite instantly. The bomb is still on the floor, not being planted as of yet. And look at the HP on towards Renefaction. Of course, still low, even lower than he was before. And Percy as well, not too healthy. Percy will still get a frag in return, makes it a 2-on-1. Good trade coming down once more from the side of Secret. But the bomb is still a troubling sight as Percy is holding the close angle. The smoke's just giving a tiny gap for him to get a free K. And a second round for Secret. But there was a very good force play from Fate. Made it really close. They were very quick on their rotation. and they almost made it work for themselves to possibly get a first round. Didn't get an equalizer. That's crazy. Things are happening. Secret will just get that normal round in. Again, the PP Bison for Red Faction, which I still find odd, but against the full eco, apart from Blocker who made some money with his SMG, it's... I'm happy to see the weapon. I'm just not happy to see it always perform as Enercast now gets a triple indeed on towards mid. A push coming in from Fate. 2 players left, and Synopsy will get a kill on towards Blocker himself, leaving only Harn alive, and that's an easy pickup for the MAC-10 player. 3-0 for Secret, and a first buy to really come in now from Fate. A full buy against most likely a bonus round from Team Secret, and I'm curious to see if they will go for an aggressive play, because that would be a normal response to, of course, a team better suited for a longer fight.
We'll have to see. This is Fate's chance of a turning point, but Team Secret is following kind of the pattern as described, you know. Once you get that pistol round, you can usually have a pretty decent shot at getting the second, and now especially the third. Radifaction is really committing to the Bison plays, I have to say. Pushes in, and there we go. He gets the Bison frags, goes for a double, but Blocker here. Which not a triple hold, a double hold in the end. SMF does actually end up
look at the late rotate. There he can't stop this bomb plant, and that means he now actually has a possible 1v2. Of course he's low. That's going to be very hard to play against. But 2 headshots can do the trick. There is, however, a lot of utility on the side of Fate, but this might actually do some damage. A little bit less than we might have expected. The molly now to come in towards CT, forcing them to go through ruins most likely. There's still only 1 flashbang remaining. SMF holding the angle, hoping they would come in here, but will they be expecting his deep angle towards this position? First frag coming in. SMF, the clutch player, but the defuse is going to be stuck by Hard. He's not going to peek it. And Ninja again coming in against Secret, and we've seen that many of times. SMF tried to play it smart, yet Fate just a little bit smarter with the clutch coming in from Harn, the op player for that Bulgarian team, doing what he needed to do.
That is just a shame, though. I guess SMF didn't anticipate there to be a kit in his hands, and with that, just didn't think that the defuse would be stuck that much. Personally, I don't like taking the risk so much. The moment I hear the defuse sound, I have this, well, instinct and urge to just get back to that bomb, because otherwise...
Just going primal.
Yeah, Lord knows that it'll be defused, you know. But,
oh, the nades coming in, also from Banana, possibly dealing a lot of damage, but so far nothing much coming out. And I would expect more to come in here. Will be a good nade on towards the player in that little cubby. Red Faction going low, will be tagged down by the MP9 because, well, he's solo.
Yeah, that's a pretty good reason. Nicky gets a nice frag there. And with that now, maybe the round is once again opened up in favor of Team Fate. You see Ma holding on the side, quietly. A bit of a delay in the play, as Team Secret hasn't really pushed through to Banana, and Team Fate is just neatly and quietly holding their angles.
MP9 in the hands of Blocker once more, has got a few frags so far. And, well, Synopsy is just holding the angle, hoping he would go for the aggression, but that will not be the case. Be coming in, double dink from the MP9 player, going more aggressive now. Looking for an angle, dealing a teeny tiny bit of damage, a second frag as well. 6 bullets remaining, will have to possibly fall back and at least reload his SMG. But with the incendiary in the way, that will be an easy thing to do. We'll look at a 5-on-2 situation with Team Secret possibly going for a save. SMF can rebuy for one of his teammates, and Enercast, of course, wants to hold on towards that AWP. And Fate seems to be going for a safe approach as well. 20 seconds left. Money to be gained by that CT side, yet money to be lost by Team Secret, not gaining a loss bonus on these 2 players. But of course, a loss bonus would not really cover the fact that they would be losing 2 full sets of weapons with armor as well.
I mean, it makes sense that they go for the save, but and even then, I think that they can still, even if they, you know, if they wouldn't be able to, well, buy it out properly, and you don't think they can? Which,
well, they can.
Yeah, but even
because
then...
Because SMF can drop 2 AKs, and then you have a full buy.
But are they going to be good on utility?
Well, not the greatest utility, but a full buy nonetheless. You know there will be some SMGs on the side of Fate for the players that couldn't actually upgrade. I think most of them have. But still, oh, actually decent utility. That's better than I expected.
Okay. Well, okay, then we're just going up a full buy versus a full buy. Equal
first time.
opportunities, equal odds, I'd say. Fate here now can make this the equalizer. It all depends on who gets those initial frags. And Ark is in a nasty position, kind of stuck behind wood pile. Ooh, nade damage is good. Patrick jumps in, but Anarchis actually does get the frag on Nikki. He's taken out of the equation, and Anarchis tries even to go for the wallbang, but that doesn't succeed so far. Lovely little spray transfer from Patrick there. Percy goes down.
It is going to be Arnakes, of course, very low, as he has actually managed to get one frag. Still, of course, it's going to be a 4-on-4, and that health will not really help him too much. Sinapsy again peeking in, no utility being used, and he will fall. It's been that way, well, 2 rounds in a row now. Before at Archway, looking in towards Blocker, now looking towards the side. We see Patrick trying to get a frag, then drop down and go towards the Ruins area. Plan to come in from SMF, hard to be countered, but they will maybe go for a CT boost once more. As Patrick, this time help Blocker on towards his shoulders, will help him to get a kill in a 1v4. In favor of Fate, I would dare to say, even though the bomb is planted. But looking at them having 3 defuse kits and 3 players now moving towards the side, having Harn get the last kill in, and of course upgrade to an AWP for himself. It will be the equalizer, 3-2-3, and Secret will of course have some money, but I think it will be a pistol armor this time around.
Very clean round actually by Team Fate, but I have to say
They
that...
can buy again, but with no utility.
Would they? Oh,
Well,
it looks
why
like
not?
they might. Yeah.
Put pressure.
Yeah, you can keep the fight up against them. You know, you just have to rely purely on frags. But what I do want to highlight there, you know, Team Fate, I don't think I've ever seen in at least, you know, a more competitive level, I don't think I've ever seen people be able to do a boost that often and just get away with it every time. At some point, you should kind of start expecting the...
Well, it's due to the numbers game, of course.
Yeah.
The moment you get another frag, that means that, well, they will most likely rotate to a different position. They won't expect you to do it again. And, well, that's an easy way for Secret to be caught off guard as, well, now we do have that 3-on-3, still decent-ish utility being used to contest towards that A side. Will there be a push? Usually they just try to check what they can actually get from that initial engagement. And there will be a boost at Archway. Harn helping his teammate, whereas he actually has an AWP, could work a little bit better. But he will actually also take the damage from a pre-fire coming in from Team Secret. Synopsy moving back with the Galil in hand. Actually not the only Galil, as of course SMF has one as well. So that means that there might be a little bit of problems for Team Secret. Trying to swap out some AKs for some better utility. But look at the hold right now from Fate. 4 players more towards the A side, 1 on Speedway. And only 1 at the coffins as Blocker is now getting the kill towards Redefaction, but it's the fake from Team Secret. They're trying to sell. Patrick standing by at this coffins area, still no smoke on his position. Now going for a molly on the default plant spot at Barbecue. But still is going to be Team Secret having some control, and the plant might come in soon when the molly gets away. Nikki goes for the flank, will go down to the Galil of SMF. He knows he can't fight for that weapon. Damage to be done. There is a nade that might get the kill. No. It's going to be Bar now in the flank as well. Will SMF be contesting this? Yes. He's currently still standing at Car, waiting for a player to move in. Anarchist gets a frag on towards Harn, but the problem is that SMF has now fallen. A 3-on-3, and Patrick is moving up. Low HP, takes the AWP. A logical choice, and now Percy gets another frag for his team. Team Secret seem to be winning this round as Blocker, I believe, is already falling back at Patrick. He's all on his lonesome. Will now go down to Percy. And that's an easy frag to be picked up. And there will be a 4th round coming in for the side of Secret. Once more regaining that lead.
And we see Blocker happily hopping away. Not a worry in the world. But the worry is that Team Secret now has gotten the 4th round. They've gotten their advantage back. And how long are they going to continue that for? They can, of course, now comfortably buy with them having saved 3 weapons. There can be some weapons thrown around for the others in utility, etc. The armor, everything that they might want can just be provided. So now there's a good opportunity, especially considering Fate's economy. Okay.
They have a full buy, of course. They have saved on in the previous round, surviving with most players most of the time. Still actually having a little bit of reserves as well. Blocker on $3,600. But we're waiting for Secret to actually make a dent in towards the economy as well. They have to streak together rounds once more, like they did at the start. But the problem is that the moment Fate started buying, Fate started to do some crazy stuff and actually win rounds. which of course is important if you want
Just
to win the
imagine,
map.
just imagine winning rounds with full buy, right, and not
So
just putting
crazy.
it on pistol armors all the time.
Say that
Indeed.
to Honoris.
Yeah, absolute madness. Anyhow, what we'll see now is perhaps the absolute madness about to unfold on the side here, as there is utility now being used to actually delay that madness and not allow Team Secret to get onto at any point just yet. Nikki also really aggressive
I
banana
think he
position.
got tagged by the molly, so they know there is a player close at logs. However, they can't really contest it because, of course, they know there's also a player at car, but they might be expecting a flank to come in the moment they go for a take. Renefaction will try to peek in a little bit. Of course, they want to maybe take down Nikki, as there will be a flashbang that will maybe scare him a little bit, but still he will be pre-aimed. Yet he gets a kill. A 4-on-4, a good trade. They have to move faster if Secret wants to go for that B-side take, but it's going to be a little bit of a fake. A CT smoke coming in, a flashbang or two as well, and even another smoke towards the coffins area. Yet the execute is going towards A. 20 seconds left, 2 players standing. One on the side, one in pit. It's going to be Mar countering the molly just to be thrown right now. Mar will get the first frag as well, still playing around this pit area. Gets a second for himself. Still a player inside is going to be Percy with the double kill. Good turn to come in. Now a plan for himself, yet he is on low HP, and the players are moving through the smoke as well. Aggression to come in, and Harden takes the first frag. Will now go down towards the AWP. Player in the smoke, and Arquettes is expecting him, and it's going to be Patrick falling, a 5-3 in favor of Secret. Fate not being able to get this round in their favor, despite having a decent hold coming down from Mar, as you would normally expect, but 2 kills was just not enough.
Well, Mar kind of fell down there by the end, you know. You saw him spraying down, and then it didn't really get anywhere. And you can see Anarchis just wiping the site clean at the end here, preventing the bomb plant from being, or well, the bomb being defused.
Currently are checking if Fate will be able to buy something. They're a little bit late on their pistol armor. Scout to come in from Hard, of course, missing the AWP every now and then. But also the C set from Mar. Possibly to do some great stuff on close range. A very good tag from Harn. Only one AK shot in his legs to come in as a counter. It's the initial engagement, slightly won for the side of Fate. Also playing quite heavily towards Archway, which of course could help them if they have to rotate towards B, where a sole member of Patrick is standing. Percy has moved through, is now trying to move up with his teammate, and the bomb as well, quite close by. But the problem is he has a smoke to counter. First frag as well with the Eagle in close range, quite easily spammable. But now they have to make it work. Renefaction takes down Nikki. That's the first frag in favor of Secret. Make it a double as Anarchist moves in with the AWP towards Patrick, and also Synapsite going down to Harn. The other way around, actually. It's going to be the 4-on-2 situation. Team Secret with a plan, and yet another frag. Renefaction takes another one on towards Blocker, leaving only Mar alive. And with his C set and armor, he's deciding to save. It is the better option, and it seems to be the only option for him. Seeing Team Secret currently go to 6 rounds, and well, I'm waiting, I'm biding my time to see if Fate can recover. At least they will have a full buy coming in the next round, and their utility game has been strong. Their damage has been pretty alright. Yet will they be able to actually turn it into a round as well? Because so far, they have been struggling, and Team Secret is slowly getting away with this map, and of course the first side. This is the map pick of Fate, so they really need to perform afterwards. We'll go to Mirage. Map pick of Secret. What's their win rate? 100%. Going to the third map, Overpass, win rate 100%.
What a surprise.
So it's going to be very vital for Fate to get back in towards this half and get their momentum going. Try to get at least a decent win to maybe crush some of the confidence on the side of Secret. Because if they do get away with a little bit of a happy feeling, I think Fate might be in a world of trouble.
Perhaps. It could be that Team Secret, you know, they start to continue this now. I really do see it happening. We had this timeout that's come in now, and let's hope for Fate then that it did actually work, that it was effective, and it wasn't just for naught. Also, having a quick look at those Vi.GG odds for, of course, this match. Team Secret being favored, but only a little bit, really. Fate does have, you know, the odds slightly against them, but in the grand scheme of things, in the matchups that we've seen in the past, this is really not the worst. You know, these are not the worst odds.
That's partially due to, of course, Team Fate having a better HLTV world ranking. However, Secret in yesterday was able to beat their opponents. I wouldn't say convincingly, but they were able to beat them.
Yeah.
And of course, that will help them going forward into the odds right now. Also, now being in the lead, being able to streak together a few rounds and having a decent economy. And so far, it seems like 64% chance to win for Team Secret. Looking for more later on if they can. But now they have to face against a full buy. However, Nicky wants more the MP9, no AWP in the hands of Harn. And I'm lacking that AWP pressure. And, well, I'm hoping they will eventually bring it back as well.
Yeah, it's that AWP pressure that you actually need, especially for the CTs, to prevent Team Secret from even in the first place getting close to the bomb site, you know? If you got that AWP that you can put down on top mid, for example, or even further on the bomb site in certain situations, you know? I think of, for example, putting it there on the coffin in case someone's going to try and get on that bomb site.
Nicky solo at the B side, playing close behind the smoke. This usually works pretty well for an SMG. However, he'll be flashed into oblivion. SMF also taking down Blocker, the first rotator. Patrick will deal a little bit, or actually decent damage on towards 2 players as he sprays through the smoke, but he'll be towards half HP and eventually not, as he will be taken out. Synopsy sees a player trying to fall back towards the side. Yet another kill coming in from the side of Secret. Not granting anything to their opponent, as the last player is in Boiler. It's going to be Mar, going for possibly an exit frag and upgrade towards an AK, but Percy will turn around. He will also fall, and it's actually some decent damage being dealt. But still, Team Secret, of course, winning the round, dealing more damage on the long run because, well, you can save a weapon. You can kill 2 players, but being behind, you can't just fix as easily with exit frags.
No, that is really not such an easy problem to solve. Radifaction even really circling around that map, you know. Team Secret eager to go for the hunt, but in the end they get the round win. That is the most important thing. And the round deficit for Fate is running up, you know. They are now 4 rounds behind. Odds are worsening for them, and slowly but surely starting to look like maybe this first half might just not be theirs.
The crazy thing for me is that at this time, Radifaction is not using the PP Bison. He's using the AK, and that's a very big step up from the first few rounds that we saw come in.
Improvement.
Improvement as well. But now we do see a pistol armor as well from Fate, of course, having to invest something with the max loss bonus they can buy again in the next round. Nicky at the sandbags area. Percy with a team kill, and his molly will burn down himself. And that's a little bit unfortunate, a little bit of, well, sloppy play. Snopsy holding down the angle at the A-apps, of course, the B-bomb side. Unknowingly already in the hands of Team Secret. A rotate coming in way too late, and, well, Mar, of course, having that AK. Zeus as well for Harn, yet the save, of course, also being called. You'd say that Harn might go for a little bit of aggression later on, because, of course, that Zeus flashbang and USP, not really that worth. Maybe they're banking on Team Secret going for some exit frags, eventually walking in towards their aim, granting either Blocker or possibly him and Harn an extra weapon to save with them for the next round.
It is worth it, you know. It's the best you can do, because just saving once you realize that it is going to be a loss. Don't keep throwing yourself at the bomb site. It's literally just wasted money.
It's giving money to the opponents as
yeah,
well.
That too, because, you know, you don't want to grant them those extra frags, and even if it might only be, you know, 100 for an AWP kill or 300 for an AK kill, it's still money and it adds up. It gets up there.
The bomb explodes. Team Secret get yet another round, number 8 for themselves. As the team led by, of course, the strong upper of Anarchast, doing a very good job so far. Doing a few rounds in their favor, sometimes a little bit of a suicide. You saw Patrick being baffled by it as well. He's just about to shoot, and it's like, wait, he's gone?
Oh, no.
And then there will be SMF with the refrag. Just great mental game right there from Team Secret. Not always intentional, but at least it works. And we do expect to see Fate now with a buy-in. Harn, I do believe he's got something else with that Zeus, but the Zeus, of course, the more important weapon to highlight. And with the utility now already being expanded by the side of Fate, they're using a lot quite early on. Letting Mar also marinate a little bit in the fire. He will be pushed, he will be flashed, yet not to be peaked. That would mean that Secret still hasn't gotten that opportunity for themselves. Harn now going low as the nade flies in towards short. Might go for the aggressive peak. The AWP will take down Radifaction, and Radifaction was actually blocking Anarchast, meaning he couldn't get the kill in return. Mar will be tagged up by a nade. He and Harn are quite low, but they still have that player lead. And it seems like Team Secret once more wants to go for that B-take. Good refrag coming down from Percy. Yet, of course, they are now still a player behind. They're slowing down. Not really putting down any pressure. Actually split as well by a molly. One player going towards A. He will fail. And then they're thinking, well, maybe they expect us to go for a B-take. Maybe not. They can at least try it because it's only Patrick. And if you just go for that kill, you get him cleanly, get a bomb plant in,
Extra money.
Golden.
Extra money, and you know, you've also got a player like Anarchus. You know, if there was anyone on Team Secret,
slow.
Yeah, but I think maybe they've got a chance. It's all going to depend on Anarchus here. Does he get the opening frag? Another smoke can be thrown again. Molly in the right spot, but oh, this spray down by Blocker is excellent. That takes out Percy, and now Anarchus is the last man standing. Fakes the plant, but Patrick does get him in the back. Didn't stand much of a chance there anymore. You'd say that maybe they did move a bit too slow there, of course, but I also think that, yeah, if the speed had been on their side, if they'd actually moved through, the rotation wouldn't have been fast enough. That spray down through the smoke wouldn't have been there, and Blocker would have survived. But yeah, sadly, he didn't make it through.
Rip in pieces, we dare to say, as it's going to be 8-4 in favor of Team Secret so far. Yet, of course, they can still buy in towards this round, having a decent economy, and of course, doing well in the previous rounds for themselves, gaining a decent lead, a decent streak. But Fate is... Oh, that's a round reset? I'm not sure what's happening.
I'm sure that'll be fixed in a moment. You know, these kind of things happen sometimes. Maybe there was something that they called for some reason that needed a round reset. I do assume that we're not going to start from the top. That's one thing.
Well, I would assume them to have at least
4-8, you know, was the score. Let's just, you know, put that out there just in case. Maybe some technical issue.
Oh, I think maybe because a player disconnected, they used the stop command in the chat, and that stops the round. Of course, you can then go back in the files and load in the round you were in prior, hoping that will help them at least get back to that 8-4, a decent buy for both teams. And let's just have a look. I believe it's SMF actually disconnected for the side of Secret. And of course, that is a very vital player. Always with his opening kills, and the AK good in afterplants as well. Just waiting for him to return, and let's see what the Dane can do for his team.
Hopefully plenty. In the meantime, here we go. He comes back and, you know, probably some sort of slight technical issues. These things happen.
I think his internet just died and everyone panicked.
Oh no, what are we going to do? But that'll all be fixed in a moment by the good old admin, you know. We'll come in and save the day. So Team Secret, they had, or well, still have a 4-round advantage. There we go. Yeah, round draw being called by the UI, of course, standard.
The one time you actually can hear it.
Yeah.
The one time there will actually be a draw called, but of course, we're going back in towards where we left off, as there was no damage being dealt prior to that. Well, a little bit of a timeout coming out from Team Secret, at least the round pause. We will be able to go back to the same score, 8-4. And of course, a full buy for either party. And let's see what Secret can bring to the table. They have that buy, they have their utility. But have they got what they need to have to at least get yet another round of Fate and get close to this double digit? Because we're getting to the end of this first half. And it's getting a little bit close, possibly a little bit too close for comfort for that T side.
See now, that T side, it does start off well. Han has already gotten the frag there to open it up. One man down, and maybe Niki could be following here. He goes in, and yep, he goes down to Synopsy. Patrick, though, he does throw something back, and it's Team Secret that are still one man down. Now we'll have to see if they can try and execute onto this side, but they've been delayed so much that it doesn't really look like it anymore. Looks like they've kind of given up on that banana position.
It's going to be a 3-on-4, and once more, Team Secret a player down. Something in most of the rounds they've lost, of course, has actually happened to them, and they don't really know how to bounce back. They do split up quite a bit if that does happen. Try to have a player just go somewhere and attempt to get a round back, as Red Faction in the Zaps area is looking if a player might actually be on that little bit of a fence. But Mar is now going to peaks. Once the player gets the first frag for himself on this A side, going for a cheeky nade. Oh no, that might be suicide. Oh, he still survives by a little margin. 40 seconds left. Team Secret moving away, trying to disengage. Yet they are both very low, out of utility, and most likely out of chances to survive, because it's going to be a 4-2 situation, and the side of Fate will just want to punish this AWP and AK player, who are now trying to fall back. Of course, not going for a plant anymore. It is, well, impossible, as they're trying to save. But I'm actually amazed by Fate playing as smart, possibly, as they do, trying to build some economy going into the last few rounds. They could have, of course, also gone for the chase and try to get those weapons out of Team Secret's hands.
Still a little bit of a deficit for Team Fate to catch up to, though. Still, I believe, 3 rounds behind, whilst Team Secret is a little bit ahead. I know.
Very good maps. Very,
I know, right?
very proud.
I can read numbers. It always baffles me, how I don't screw that up. Anyhow, though, Team Secret here, if they, they do have that buy to work with now. They, on both sides, really have a pretty much full buy. It's only an Arcus that has a little bit of utility lacking, but not really more than that. So it's down to Team Secret now to continue, make the best out of this, and actually try and potentially push this to double digits. If they put down 2 perfect rounds, that is possible. But then they do have to actually pull that off, and saying it is one thing, doing it is something entirely different.
Well, we do see an AWP, of course, saved by Anarchaz into his round, but Mars standing by on the balcony will go down as the first frag, and actually the first line of defense, and the only direct line of defense on towards the A side itself. Blocker rotating back in, Patrick and Nicky both getting a kill, and now utility will be abused, or at least exploited, to create some room for themselves. Plant now only going down as Blocker gets a frag on towards the Narcas. That's the AWP player also gone for the side of Secret, and it's a 2v4, a very hard round. Last time around they tried to save, but now already on the side, they have to commit. Red Faction with the kill will be traded out by Patrick. Is going to be SMF in a 1v3. Smoke still at the long area, tries to go for the 1v1. Gets one, gets a second.
SMF?
Will he get the third? Yes, he will. Another clutch from SMF. And what a god with the AK he is. 9-5, another round for Secret, and it's going to be a heartbreaking story for Fate to lose that round. First a 4v2, then a 3v1, and then they still managed to lose it. And I don't know how, because those headshots were clean.
Oh, look at this replay.
2 players from that short area as well, trying to play it one by one. The peak just not really timed correctly by either party. And it's going to be Fate now on 5 rounds still, and Secret with a chance to have those double digits.
That was quite something, of course. SMF really one of those star players. Well done by him. Han going to peek in quite aggressively, try and get that opening pick, but does not succeed. Shot not connecting whatsoever. More utility being thrown around here, around top mid and towards that bomb site, but Ma does actually peeking aggressively himself this time, and Synopsy does get fragged as a result of that. Percy, however, goes in on. Blocker now, though, along with Ma. They try and hold it off, but the frags fly back and forth. No nade kill, but more damage is there. SMS is low. SMF even is low, and Anarchis himself doesn't have that much HP to play with anymore. It's going to come down to SMF getting another masterful AK pick, but it doesn't quite look like it as Patrick frags him. And with that, Anarchis has to, well, try something, and which seems to be push through Banana, make sure that no one's flanking you, just in case, and actually make it look like he's going to Banana, but just to mess with us a little bit, he's going back to the bomb side.
Fate actually sticking together for once now, also getting the last kill with a spray from Nicky, saying that, well, if we're going to give him another 1v1 by sending just one player towards B, we're just going to mess ourselves up. So at least stay a little bit close towards that A side altogether now. 9-6, Team Secret will get that last round. Nope, it will be Fate. And that means no double digits for the international team. The Bulgarians still holding on, but of course, we shouldn't forget that they were able to pick what side they want to start on.
And that might have been the advantage, well, that they needed, you'd say, but clearly with the 3 rounds that they're running behind, there is something more that they seem to need. They still need to catch up to that, and the question is, if Team Secret now is going to go to the CT side, what are they going to pull off on there? Is that going to go even better for them? In which case, I worry for Team Fate. I worry, especially if we have to go to that. Well, even if we're going to that second map, you know, even that one's still a question mark. And then you've got Overpass, which is the decider, and it's still massively favored for Team Secret. So I wonder what Fate is going to be able to do here. They just have to win this map, that's for certain. And right now, I'm still not too convinced that that's what they're actually going to do.
Well, the second half is starting soon. Team Secret will then go towards the CT side. We've seen them do wondrous stuff with their USPs. However, Fate, of course, will maybe try to muscle their way in towards close range. With those clocks, either side is actually doable because the long angles you can hold on different maps aren't really that applicable here. Some utility to be picked up by Rarefaction and maybe some of his other teammates. It seems like he's the only one, and the rest will go for that Kevlar Fest. Of course, now also possibly a raid boss coming down from Fate, as we have seen that before, but this time around just 5 clocks, some utility, and a train to go towards B.
And let's see if that train can arrive at the station, if it can get some frags. Starts off somewhat decently, you'd think, but Synopsy holds it off for now. Mar does get the immediate refrag. And let's see if Team Secret now is coming from CT. They try and they try. Han does get another frag, but Rarefaction here holding off with the double kill. Maybe a triple. No, doesn't look like it. Anarchus, though, comes in clutch and cancels out Patrick. Only Mar left. Shots fired towards CT, and he's in a nasty position. Does have the bomb in hand, but it is nowhere near the site, or nowhere near being planted, I should say.
I think he's just trying to wait it out, hoping that there will be a mistake made by Team Secret, trying to split around towards the A side. But the best thing they can do is say, well, if they want a bomb plant, they can have a bomb plant. We're sticking together, trying to play together at this B side. Enercast might peek towards CT, but it is too late. It's going to be Mark walking in towards the angle of SMF. And now you would imagine there to be another player at this B side, or at least there would be a guess for Mar. So an A take would now be most, well, sensible indeed. As we do see Enercast seeing the player, it will be a little bit of a cheeky fight in Enercast with yet another frag. A sloppy round from Team Secret. I would have loved to see some things different. Personally, for me, Rarefaction, after getting the double kill, could have walked back towards New Box and reloaded. Have another fight for another day. Yet he stood in the open and, well, of course he would be pushed eventually and then he would be fragged quite easily, but if it would have gone down to a few missed shots and his ammo would have run out, I think he would have been a very, very bit disappointed. And
he would have been an unlucky man.
Well,
and a man who would have lost his life. Yeah. Well, I guess it turned out okay in the end. Team Secret has gotten those double digits now, and oh, that nade damage though. Very strong opening here on the, well, B bomb site this time round. Mar along with, well, I believe it was Patrick or maybe even Han that got the frag there. No, it was actually Nikki, my bad. Nikki and Mar that got those frags. Bomb plant is already going down. Patrick does get tagged though, and they try, they jump, but they don't really connect. It is only Synopsy who can get the one frag so far. Goes in with the USB, gets a frag on Patrick, but now it's all down to Anarchus again. He's got the right weapon for it, an M4, but he isn't even going to try this anymore by the looks of it.
He wasn't even close. He was still on the A side as he does now get a frag. Let's see Famas out of the hands of Blocker, and it's the only weapon that Fate might have actually wanted to save from this round, and they actually lose it. Of course, they can rebuy on full AKs if they want to, as we do expect Team Secret to go for a force buy in the next round, so those rifles will be necessary. And I guess, of course, saving his M4 will be nice to have in the next round. And, well, because Fate, you know they might go for either an eco or a force buy, but on this map, pistols will be actually quite potent.
Well, yeah,
you would expect them to go with a pistol rush. Tech 9s and armor, you might still get some nades in, and those nades really worked out.
I think that the, Banana and the B site, it really opens itself up for that as well. They can really just push on through. They've got that choke point, of course, but if they don't get countered at choke point and they kind of hop, or well, rush onto the B bomb site like a little train of some sort, then they just have a lot of fragging potential and they can turn a bad round into a good one.
I believe SMF has dropped for somebody. He's currently armorless, as we do see Enercast getting one kill, but there is no support around your only real rifle. I'm so confused. Percy, luckily with another refrag. Synopsy also getting one in return. Don't go too aggressive now. Team Secret, please. As you could actually lose it. We do see Rarefaction moving into 5-7, a little bit of a risk, but at least an AKK going for another peek. That's how you lose the AK. And now it will be a 1-3-3. Patrick being, well, pretty much singled out and also surrounded by the side of Team Secret. And once again, they go for 1v1 peaks. That nade will deal some damage. And Patrick will go towards, well, second mid for now and maybe towards the B side later. But look at it. Secret at the advantage. Still going for 1v1s. They're saying, okay, one works. Then we can all go for him. Because 50-50s will eventually fall our way, right?
Yeah, it's the silliest tactic to actually try and pull, but it is what they did in the end. The bomb now is still at top mid, though. Patrick actually here in Boiler. Patrick looking around, scanning meticulously. He has a little over half a minute to play with. Now time is ticking, though, and SMF here has a relatively, well, sliver of an angle, but it might actually work out for him. Patrick does dodge a bullet by the nick of his eye, and with that now he can actually get on top of the side and he can force a plant out of this. That is at least some money in Fate's pocket, regardless of how this
there's a nade.
Round
there is a nade from SMF. It could actually get the kill, but why is he expecting SMF to just play behind the smoke? That's not really the most favorable position, as he's now going towards short, expecting a player to come from long. Of course, Team Secret would have to group up for once, as they are now moving, as the smoke will dissipate. Time is running out, but Percy has that defuse kit. And then you might want to say, well, let's make SMF a boss within the AK and let him go for the fight, as there will be a tap towards the smoke. There will be a kill coming down from Patrick. And SMF, you're trying to go the long way around. He was the player actually going for the defuse rather than the player with the kit. And this is once again a little bit of a big waste coming in from Team Secret. Should have been able to possibly win this round, or at least have a little bit of a better fight in the end. As we do see SMF living in the end, saving that M4, but without any armor. Or at least saving the AK, and he's upgraded. But now he doesn't have armor, so it seems like they may be forcing around that weapon once again. And now I do hope they play around that weapon as well, because now you saw Enercast solo holding mid. He goes in, of course he will fall after getting one kill. Maybe he will get two. But it's still, that is a big weapon out of your hands, and then what do you have?
Well, pretty much nothing. You've got a few frags, but they don't get turned into anything. And at the end, Fate has something. Fate has the round win. And that's kind of the problem, isn't it? If you are a Team Secret player, or, you know, just Team Secret in general, now you are, well, they are slowly losing their grip on the advantage. It's 2 rounds that they're still ahead, but before you know it, those 2 rounds might be gone at this rate. Fate having a heavy, heavy banana presence with only 1 player back in, well, second apartments. But nothing's happening so far. A bit of utility has been thrown out, delays have been thrown in, and Fate might now actually be falling back.
Well, we do still see that AK up and running. Of course, the Swag 7 to hold down these A-apps. Mar will be standing by, of course, also holding the angle. Oh, that push coming in at the same time for both. Don't go for the weapon, and they're doing that. Synapse is now moving around, but what is Enercast holding? He's a little bit blindsided. It will be a good tag and a kill from Synapse, but that's not the round in their favor. A 3-on-3, and it seemed to be a 3-player B-stack from the side of Secret, as they said. Well, Fate so far has been favoring that side, but on their buy rounds, and instead also on this last round, they seem to be actually more of what they wanted to achieve upon. Of course, Nicky is low, but there is no real damage to clear him out. There's only 1 AK. And now an extra AK on towards Red Affection as he picks it up in towards Abs, where, of course, Mar died after taking a Swag 7 shot to the face. Now it will be the 3-on-3. There will be a player in pit, maybe to be contested by Red Affection. He will be flashed and he will get a second frag. No, SMF, the only player to frag just yet. And he will get a second as well, but will he get a third? No time indeed. And no health at all. It will be Blocker going down to the bomb in the end. And that means that there will be another round for Fate, 10-9. And the gap is closing. Now we will see an eco or pistol armor for Team Secret, something we expected a little bit sooner on, but saving that 1 weapon, decided to have a force buy around it. Again, almost winning, but almost doesn't net you around.
Absolutely not, but honestly, it's getting frustrating almost, you know, spectating and seeing how Team Secret is making these really silly mistakes, you know, how they go for the single peaks, how they just let sites be overrun, how they go for these really silly fights in general, and it's just, well, frustrating almost. You'd expect better from them, and Patrick now gets the frag on SMF, a good nade throw. Synopsy might be the only one who can hold off a bit of a banana advance, but he's not going to be able to hold it off for long, I'm afraid.
No, I think that if Team Secret had that first round around the rifle actually work out, They would have had a very good lead at this moment in time, but now also losing Snupsy. Only one more player on the B side. And regardless of there being players on the B side, the numbers are in favor of Fate. The weapons are way in favor of Fate. And those Spectans are looking for blood, looking for money, looking for whatever they can get. And Red Faction is standing by here. The second Oranges will try to tap away one. Nikki will fall, but the bomb still in second mid might actually go towards that A side as Enercast decides to go aggressive, yet he will fall, which, well, might have been a given looking at the push without any utility.
Well, a bit of a shame for that push now, not much of a chance. Percy was pretty much just sat back here on the site, not really expecting to do much anymore, I think. And Radifaction, who's the last man standing now, can upgrade to a Mach 10 there. That's about the best takeaway from this entire round, because the rest of his team has been murdered relentlessly, and they've only managed to get one kill in return. And with that, Fate is now assured of the 10th round and of the equalizer. And the question that I do ask is Team Secret going to be able to pull something back here in this next round? Are they going to actually do it? Are they actually going to, well, put up the valiant fight that you kind of expect from them? That now, whilst it was there in the beginning, has been sort of a miss.
Well, Red Faction tried to keep the $600 away from one of those Mach 10s. Of course, the Mach 10 for himself wouldn't really do too much, unless if he would get a little bit of an extra cash influx. But, well, he died in the end. 10-10, an equal score. But still, the odds are in favor of Secret looking at those two maps coming on later. First, we will have Mirage, then Overpass, both 100% win rates for Secret. But we also have to say, their win rate on Inferno, not always too great, but possibly just good enough. As on Inferno so far, they've posted a 40% win rate. And Fate, well, they've been slightly better, 41. Just that 1%. And sometimes that 1% is just a little bit too much. We hear it sometimes on the news.
The 1%, yeah, that is too much. Well, clearly that seems to be, well, the challenge, so to speak, for them. But really, right now, I could see this going Team Fate's way anyway. I think if Team Secret kind of just continues here with how much they...
good momentum.
Yeah, they don't really, with how much they've lost that momentum and how it almost feels as if they've thrown in the towel, I'd say. Then, yeah, who knows? This might be Team Fate's map, and if it is Team Fate's map, then there is a better chance for their track record. We've said it before, if Team Secret does take this map, then, well, let's just say that the odds aren't very much in Team Fate's favor there. You know, now they are pretty close up against each other, but in the next maps, even Mirage and Overpass, that's a map, well, those are both maps with a 100% win rate for Team Secret. Not exactly the type of maps that you'd like to, well, take a double bet on, you know?
No diffuse kits coming in from the side of Team Secret, but they do have an AWP on towards Enercast. Seems like he's going to go for a late mid-peak, but there's going to be a rush coming in from Fate. One kill coming in. Enercast will, of course, be traded out. There will be a quick rotate coming in from the players from the B side, but through the smoke, Patrick will get another kill. Sinapsai, of course, also to be traded out by Patrick, and that's a 2-on-2 situation with the plant now coming in. And Nate can, of course, go over this rooftop and actually damage down Patrick to about half HP. And there it will be, but will it be in time? No, it's even missing on towards Patrick now behind this pillar. And we still have a clean 2-on-2. Time is of the essence. Team Secret has to get a move on Molly to come in around Patrick's location, but he's now just stuck. Yet not to be damaged. They will peek him, they will get a kill. The last player in pit, they should notice, because where else would Nikki play? And they're looking, they're not finding, just tapping the bomb. And oh, that's a lucky spray, SMF on the receiving end through the smoke. And I think Nikki is as surprised as we are how easily that went for Fate. Now gaining the lead, 11-10. And it seems like Team Secret is really losing their marbles.
Left click and just hold, right? And that seemed to be all Nikki had to do. Got the win by that, and Fate now also has the advantage for them. One round ahead of Team Secret, whereas, well, as we've...
Oh, that's romantic.
Oh,
they gave each other a kiss in CT.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
A kiss and a hug.
Of bromance when you're losing.
Yeah, you know, for good luck, right? That might actually make the difference. I'm afraid, though, that it isn't going to do much, as Team Secret now are struggling behind. They don't have the weapons for it. They have Deagles. I believe it is a full Deagle buy for everyone. A little bit of utility and some armor on most of the players. but really not much more than that. And I think those are really tough odds. Those are odds that Team Secret probably doesn't fancy themselves either. But really, though, it's Fate that are actually coming back now, that are actually doing a decent job. And as I've said before, I believe that there is a chance now that they might actually finish this off and that they win this out.
Well, so far we do see Team Secret doing a little bit better in this round, and of course the previous it was already down and out at this time in the round. At least Synopsy gets a refrag on towards Blocker, but still that's a trade, of course, always favoring that T side. Damage being dealt towards the CT player, and of course also on towards Mar, means that they have to play a little bit more careful. Yet those Deagles on the range could actually challenge those AKs as well, as this chicken is going a little bit wild. He's scared, of course, for barbecue. He's knowing that he will be eaten. Just like Fate is trying to eat up Team Secret on towards their eco, and as Synopsy will go down, there's only one more player on towards that A side. Percy throwing down the smoke for himself, and now he will be challenged, trying to play around the smoke. Will get one kill. Will he get a second? He's trying to go in towards the smoke. Goes out. Will not get the kill just yet, but he's still surviving. Gets one more. One dig. And that's a 2-on-2 situation, but once more, of course, the bomb to be planted. And the rotate comes in, yet no defuse kit. However, there are two nades. Redefaction and SMF could actually try to nuke out a player on towards the side, but the player is a little bit too far from the default nade angle. Patrick will not be hit by the first. Patrick will most likely not be hit by the second either, as SMF has taken an AK, but has to clutch a 1v2. He's done a 1v3, but that time he had a defuse kit, I believe. Oh no, he was on the T side. Did have an AK and full health, and of course armor. This time he's running into a crossfire. Fate with a 12-10 scoreline now. Looking at another buy for Team Secret. And they're hoping, they're biding their time, that finally they will get some streak going. However, if you look at the Fate buy at this moment in time, and also their economy, it's looking a little bit scary for the CT side.
Well, the CT side just usually doesn't really have the buy to go up against it, but now it shouldn't be that scary. They have the utility, the armor, and the weaponry to counter it fully. So we'll see if Fate will now actually lose a round for a change of Team Secret, or well, if Fate is going to continue, well, sort of handing Team Secret the loss on a silver platter, because right now with the comeback that Fate is making, it is starting to look like they will actually get the map win here. Who knows though? We've seen this before. We've seen these kind of results. We've seen these kind of streaks, and then it had a similar outcome where maybe it will get close towards the end. Maybe it will even be overtime. It's very much possible. But in the end, it is the dominant team that overrules. And in this case, that would be, according to our expectations, Team Secret.
Well, we do see utility flying out towards the A side once more, but of course on Inferno T side, you don't have to commit to whatever you throw your utility at the first try. As of course it's quite easy with that mid pressure to go back towards B. Anarchist now seeing that flash come in, will miss through the first players. Now falls back, hoping to get some support. All those flashes chiming in. And the bomb actually also falling with them. It's going to be Anarchist getting the first frag. Will go for a second, will be taken up by Blocker. Clean headshot for him. And the rotate is coming. The rotate will be too late to support the Opper, who has now fallen. Redefaction with a very wild spray will deal some damage on towards Blocker, but some damage will not give him a kill. And it will be a very hard retake with, I do believe, some smokes and a nade and only one flashbang.
That's not a lot to work with. I think I've seen better odds in the past. But let's see what they make out of it. The utility is thrown in now. Blocker tries to hold it off. Mark does get sacked. SMF gets the initial frag. Nikki, however, does throw something back. However, then it is SMF and Percy. They hold it off and they stick the defuse now. Han is trying, but he's missing. And Percy in the end even frags him through the smoke, I believe, with a USP. Team Secret makes a comeback. And they have the 11th round now. Trying to catch up to their deficit. Trying to catch up to that one more round that they need. And then to achieve the equalizer, of course.
Well, we did see a cheeky boost come down behind the smoke from the side of Fate in the corner, pre-fired by Team Secret. They had a very good retake going for them. Whereas the B side of Inferno is probably one of the hardest sides to retake, as of course you do need a lot of utility usually to get things going for you. Utility flying quite frequently towards the B side banana. But so far, no real push coming in from Fate just yet, but there will be some players moving up the D stairs. NRKS misses his shot, but the push will now once again be on, as SMF will be joined by Red Faction, and they'll be playing together. Also being supported by CNMC. At least a good gamble this time from Team Secret, as the push is indeed coming in. The player in CT now to be smoked off by 2 smokes, and CNMC will get a first frag. Good spray coming in also on towards Nikki, dealing some damage, but why is CNMC not going towards the area in CT just yet? He will now go for a kill, will be taken out by Harn. So it will be a trade fest, and Harn actually no-scoping on towards SMF, a 1v2. And actually no player setting pressure on towards the side, so he could maybe try to play it out that way. The problem is, however, bomb being dropped in front of the site, no smoke in hand, and how will he be able to do this? He's just running away right now, possibly going for a flank through CT, saying, well, they most likely be around that B area, and I can just do it like this. And, well, he might actually have a good idea, because Percy was looking around Speedway, now going for the peek. He spots out hard. He will not get the kill. Trying to not overcommit, and there will be a pre-fire headshot coming in. AWP, double AWP. So that will mean an aggressive peek, most likely in banana, and most likely also one around mid. And this might be a big opener for Team Secret, looking at the economy from Fate. I wouldn't be surprised if they invest in coordinates again, and then those AWPs might be in a world of trouble.
And once again, that no-scope here being highlighted from Harn. Well done by him, but really, that is just what it is. Team Secret has now achieved the equal ground. And let's see, because Fate is now going on eco. Oh, well, a nade spam, actually.
The nade stack again coming in.
Solid.
Some damage, but not too much. And nade stacks coming in from the side of Team Secret are way better. Percy with a triple kill. SMF finishing it off with a double spray off him. Oh, and 1 HP onto Red Faction. More than enough. Luckily being saved by his teammates.
Always fun to see that nade stack, to be honest. I relish just seeing like 2 free nade kills fly in there, to be honest. And, well, that was a valiant attempt by Fate, but a rather quickly put down one as well, as Team Secret now continue also, of course, doing performing a flawless round there, not losing any team members or equipment whatsoever. Let's see, though, what Fate is going to bring to the table again this time round. They've got utility, they've got weapons, they've got armor, so they should also have a chance.
Well, we'll see Harn just trying to tap away. At least there's a buy from the side of Fate. They do have a Galil, however, on towards Patrick, not the best weapon, but they do have the opening kill through the smoke. They take down NRKS. That's one of those AWPs taken out, as Percy now also slightly being tagged up, most likely by a spray through the smoke as well. CNMC now taking the angle that NRKS just played, doubting to take that AWP, or at least trying to guard it for the time being. Now we do see some utility flying in from Secret. Red Faction holding the angle, seeing the molly come in, having to fall back. And SMF now actually standing at the sandbags right here, will throw in the molly of his own. If there are nades, he will fall, but the flashbang will now come out. There will be a smoke, but there is a gap as well. They might go through, but SMF is now trying to fall back, trying to play the smart game, maybe to be boosted. But why is Red Faction, the AWP, falling back all the way deep in towards CT? Are they expecting an A-take to come out? As CNMC has gone for an aggressive peek, then loses a little bit of HP. They're trying to desperately get this round back in their favor, as it seems to be a B fake going towards A. Will Secret fall for it? Or will they be able to rotate in time? Because Red Faction now really needs to get himself going. But he's going towards Ruined. It's going to be CNMC now seeing what is up. He will get 1 kill. Will throw a flashbang as well, but it's too late for Percy. He goes through the smoke. That is not a way to work. As, of course, that will be easily taken care of by Blocker. And this should be the equalizer for Fate. Team Secret trying to save.
Understandably so, really not worth the engagement, not worth the risk. You want to take that AWP with you to the next round. Those defuse kits, because they could be critical then. But let's also highlight the fact we're going towards the tail end of this map so far, and it is terribly, terribly close between these two, you know. You've got Fate, who are now going to catch up again to Team Secret, equalize it out, and 13-13 will be the score. And honestly, at this rate, I see it going to overtime now. I honestly see it happening, that these two are going to be heel on heel again, or on each other's, well, at each other's throats. You can call it what you like. But point being that it's going to be close, and that it's going to be too close for it to just be done in one map alone. That we will need the overtime to really show who's the true victor.
Well, we do see that equal score once more. At least AWP and an M4 saved. Team Secret having some weaponry to work with, some utility as well, most likely. And, well, I think it's actually a pretty decent buy. Red Faction not even having to invest all that much. Actually can buy a Glaskin and AWP later on. Double up once more for Secret. But I'm not too sure. I didn't really see it come into fruition in the last round. Enercast, of course, being taken out through the smoke. Also a little bit possibly mispositioning coming in from him. This position might work a little bit better. Of course, you can fall back. That is the big key for Inferno. Hold an angle until they do come in. Then you have to fall back to another angle. And usually, especially on the A side, you can fall back yet once more as well. There's a spray coming down. SinMC is doubting to go for a spray through the door. Will not deal any damage. Now the players know there will be a player here, but look at this nade. Dealing some damage. Could have actually been more. As the 3 players of Fate were stacked up, now moving in as well. Mar is leading the charge once again. As there is a Mac 10 on towards Nicky. Flashbangs coming in. SinMC with a good spray, but only with 1 kill for Percy. Patrick with a follow-up, another refrag. And the plan, of course, to come in. These A side so far, seemingly the most weak defended by Team Secret. As once more, Fate just walks by and actually gets around because they're going for a save. Trying to save both of those AWPs, not going aggressive enough possibly. Because they don't manage to get that opening kill. Of course, you could still, in that balcony area, try to put your AWP on an aggressive peak, then fall back later on. But this time, both Enercast and Red Faction not putting any pressure down towards the site.
And with no pressure being on the site, there is a guaranteed loss here, of course, and that means that now it's going to be Fate again that takes the upper hand. And it is really just a ping pong game, I think is also a wonderful way to put it. Nicky does get fragged there at the end. That is nicely pulled away. A little bit of economy damage towards Team Fate, but it doesn't matter that much. They have plenty of reserves and kind of better reserves than Team Secret, really. There's still surprisingly high odds for... I'd expect that to be lower, you know? I didn't think that it would be such a convincing no still.
Well, usually Fate either gets a 16-14 win or manages to choke it out in the end and then lose 14-16 overtime. Not always in their court, but these odds are actually quite low compared to what you probably get when you bet in the start of the match. Nicky was a little bit burned, but they don't hear the noise time and time again. I'm not really sure if Secret has their headsets on, because this is, I think, the 3rd time I would expect them to have heard a tick from the incendiary to come out, yet they won't act upon it. Will be a little bit of a spray. Red Faction going down to Patrick, and weapons will be thrown away by the side of Fate as well, just to toy with them. And there will be now 1 AWP, 2 M4s, and, well, make that 0 AWPs for the side of Team Secret. I think Fate has a very good chance at winning this map. And you see the odds almost equalizing. Actually now turning into the favor of Fate as they get yet another kill and go towards map. And not yet match point, because of course they still need to win yet another map. But of course, those odds from VitalGG updated every 30 seconds now, really going in favor of that T side. The Bulgarian team doing really, really well. And they need to just win one more round against, well, a decent buy for Red Faction. Also a good M4 for SMF, and possibly the rest of the team as well. But, well, so far it just hasn't been working out on their CT side.
Yeah, I believe that this might be it. This could easily be the map win for Fate, to be honest. And that would mean that things have started off in, well, you know, a positive light for them. That would mean that the things are looking okay going towards Mirage. However, let's be honest here. It's been said before, but choking is a real threat. And let's just say that I would not be surprised if it went to overtime. I would not be surprised if Team Fate choked. But maybe I am wrong. Maybe they are just going to prove themselves now. Get that decisive site push. Make it onto the B-bomb site now. And with that, show that they deserve to get this map win. And who knows, perhaps even this match win by the end of the second map.
SMF being tagged up by those nades early on as SinMC with the Deagle trying to clear out apps. There will be a little bit of an early warning, yet no rotate to come in from Secret towards that B side. It seems like Fate is setting up to go towards the, well, Fountainious side, because it's fantastic with a beautiful fountain and those fishes swimming around in 2D. As well, we do see some counter utility come in. I would probably expect them to save that before possibly a take to come down. as the bomb will now go back towards the bottom of mid, going closer towards A. A fake most likely to be pulled once more by the side of Fate, trying to go for that side take towards actually A, and as there has been 2 kills, suddenly they managed to hold off the B side, but will their A defense be just as good? The Incendiary will slow down the players of Fate. There will be a rotate coming in, but Mar will take down 1 kill. Percy with a follow-up for his own. The problem is he will go down, but Anarchist with a quick rotate to come in. It will now be a 1-on-3 with Blocker going completely blind. The Molly not working out, and now he can actually play the time game. Look at how Split Secret is. 1 for 1. He could get those fights in, but with 2 HP, it will be a very hard-fought battle, especially as Rarefaction comes from that Apps area, gets the round in. 15-14, possibly overtime.
I'm saying overtime. Honestly, at this point, I'm banking on it. Although Fate does have plenty of reserves, I believe, to buy through this, I still think it's a solid chance that this is going to become overtime, honestly. I would not be surprised that Team Secret actually proves who they, how good they can be, but that they are just on purpose waiting for the pressure to be onto them.
Well, overtime is definitely an option, but Fate having loads of money, being able to buy into this with everything they want. And, well, I'm curious to see if they will be able to actually close it out right now. Something they have struggled with in the past. And quite often, the team that brings it to overtime is also the team that wins because they have that momentum going. And will then be able to start back, of course, on the side they were just before, be able to just keep on their game plan. So you see an AWP only for Anarchist, this time not for Rarefaction. Having that M4 back in hands.
That M4 might be the critical weapon, especially in the hands of a player like Rarefaction. He's shown that he can really, really come in clutch when he needs to. So let's hope for Team Secret that he can actually pull that off again. That he can actually put down a masterful sight hold, especially when they need it the most.
Well, it's going to be, again, just testing the waters of the fountain. See if the fishes are still alive, and they might want to blow them into smithereens with their bomb. An explosive C4s. Now the execute will come through quite quickly. It's going to be SMF falling first. The second player on side, Rarefaction will get 1, but he will have to wait. But he goes for an aggressive peek. He will have to have some support from Percy, the plant. Only now to go down. And it will be that 4-on-4 situation, the plant. And it will go down and the bomb will start ticking. Smoke not to be found here in the ruins area as Blocker will try to re-molly that CT area, slowing down the retake of those CTs as well as the first frag comes in for Rarefaction. Hard now getting a kill in return, but problem is he's also lost Nikki. Only Mar and Harn alive. It's just like a dynamic duo. Listening to the names, there will be a defuse being stuck. Harn will get 1 through the smoke, and it will be Harn getting the second as well, with a little bit support from Mar to help him out. 16-14, no overtime this time. And it seems like Team Secret is having to struggle, having to go to, of course, their favorite maps. But will it be the win for them? As, of course, they have a 100% win rate on both the maps coming up, Mirage and Overpass. Yet losing this one will mean even more momentum for the side of Fate, which have already won a best of 3 before they got here.
Yeah, Fate, who clearly seem to have been pracked right in, I'd say. They've been doing a good job, and now